important. I mean, you look at Toronto's defense where it's strong, and we've talked about in the middle. Waldrop and Andrew Stewart, 73 and 92. Waldrop and All-Canadian. Stewart, just a heck of a player week after week. They don't get enough credit. I like to point them out if I can because they do a great job.
2nd and 9, and Graves nailed as he tried to throw. Eric Johnson, a significant contribution to this Argonaut defense. Second start for Johnson with Giles on the sideline.
And watch Johnson coming off the corner. He just comes free. Nobody touches him. Not enough people up front. And Marvin Graves pays the price as he gets it from the blind side. And I think Graves can count on anytime he's in 2nd and 10 or 2nd and long that he's going to see some heat tonight, regardless of the score, because, I mean, Toronto's shown that they like to do that. They have success with it. And Eric Johnson got the good pressure and a nice hit.
Terry Baker hitting on 70% of his field goals. This from 49 yards away. His longest in 1997, 44 yards. So Baker good on 7 of 10.
Offside, Toronto number 50. Repeat 3rd down.
I think Mike O'Shea did that on purpose because he knew he was a man short.
So Baker gets a little bit closer. Now right on his longest distance of the year, 44 yards away. Can the Argos hit the scoreboard? Baker is wide. And the pinball Mike Clemens looks to take it out of the end zone. Or does he just retreat? At the end, the wisest thing to do was give up the single points. 44-yard wide field goal gets Montreal on the board. Baker a little upset that that's going to... Don Matthews has never lost to the Alouettes as head coach of the Argonauts. East Final 1996, November 17th to be exact.
And this
opening play.
Yeah, opening play. Clements all the way for the touchdown. And well, you talk about the East Final. Preseason game was 40-0 for the Argonauts, and tonight they're leading 36-1. For some reason, Toronto has just totally had Montreal's number.
And Flutie himself in for a touchdown there. It looked easy. Tracy Ham did get one back. The only Montreal touchdown of the ball game. Matthews got the dunk and then packed up and headed for the Grey Cup in Hamilton. 3:15 to go, 3rd quarter. Shoveled ahead on 1st down for Drummond. And he's got about 5 yards. That play's worked a couple of times. Torrey Hunter up to make the tackle.
Well, I love this, and this shovel play. And watch Swift Birch out here. I mean, you know, if he goes for the quarterback, which he does, Flutie just runs the pitch underneath on the shovel. I mean, you just can't make the right play. Swift Birch is in no man's land, and if he stays with Drummond, Flutie will just run the ball. And the Argonauts, I mean, it looks like a rather easy play to defense, but for some reason teams cannot do it, and the Argos have made a living with that play this year and all variations of it.
It's really an option play, isn't it? Because the quarterback takes it, draws the guy. The defender comes at the quarterback, he shovels it to Drummond. So
it's an option, and the defensive guy has all kinds of bad options.
Yes, he doesn't have very many. Here's Gino.
John, I'm just standing next to Andre Ware, and Don Matthews walked up to him and said, unless something dramatic happens, you'll be starting the 4th quarter. So Ware just kind of gave it the pump of the fist. Looks like Andre Ware is going to start the 4th quarter for the Argonauts.
Well, I think that's a wise decision at this point in time.
There we go. The debate is over. He's going to play.
See, I like it when Don listens to us. Just that subtle little suggestion we made that maybe Ware should get a little playing time. You know, when you haven't played it down, if Flutie goes down at any point in the season with some kind of a minor injury, you'd like to think that your quarterback had seen a little activity this year. Correct snap. And Drummond on 2nd down at about 4. Comes up a little shy, I do believe. Alfred Payton wrapped him up, number 57. It will be an Argonaut 1st down. Story of the game is Robert Drummond with 4 touchdowns in the opening half. Argonauts have put just 1 point up in the 3rd quarter, and 2:06 remains in that. Correct A minute 55 to go, third quarter. Gravely busy tonight. Hope you can join us tomorrow afternoon for Montreal Open Tennis. 2 o'clock Eastern and 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
Quarterfinal Friday in the Demorier from Montreal. Men's tennis, Michael Chang won today. He will be one participant in that quarterfinal. How about the lineup on TSN today? Got to blow a little smoke for the network. Demorier tennis, they go to the golf at Glen Abbey, the LPGA, the final major for the women, and now live football tonight. Not bad.
Flutie looked for Mitchell. He looked deep, and Mitchell couldn't bring it in. Double coverage down there on Mitchell in one area anyway. Nash and Hensey Charles had moved over, and Mitchell kind of looked the wrong way. Argonauts wrapped up their dominance of this game rather early with touchdowns in the first 3 possessions. Missed possession 4 and then came back and scored again on their 5th possession. Vanderjack across the 40 to get it high for Chris Wright. Chased him down to the 3-yard line. Wright tripped, and that might be the penalty call there. Michael O'Shea actually making the tackle. See a little tripping down there, Leaf?
Well, it looked like Donald Smith, as he broke in initially to make the hit on Chris Wright, might have taken one in the back.
Illegal block. Montreal number 47. First down.
And we'll have a look at the middle of your screen. Coming from the right-hand side, there's 47. Boom, right there. There he is. Hey, cannot do that if you can't get the helmet in front. Every coach will say, do not block. You're going to cost your team yardage. And Stephon Reed, I know he's trying hard. Nobody will ever question that. But sometimes you just got to bite the bullet if you can't get the position on the guy to block him. Put your head in front.
Reed missed last week's game with an injury and is back in the lineup. One of the solid special teams players for the Alouettes. So here Montreal begins. Back inside the 5, first down. Pringle. Nice run for Mike Pringle, who gets out across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Pringle has run hard and picks up 20 yards there.
You know, that's almost a silly comment to make, but what a difference in this game had Montreal maybe been able to start the game this way with running plays like this as Bruce Beaton leads Mike Pringle up through the hole, and they get an excellent gain on that. But if they could have started in this fashion, who knows how this game might have turned out. That's what we anticipated.
Graves fake once, takes it back down, and it's forced out after a gain of about 3. Donald Smith forced him out on the final play of the third quarter. It's been all Toronto, 36-1 as it stands right now, and we send you back to CFL Live Control.
Welcome back, CFL Live after 3 quarters. We'll talk about football in a second, but this being the Major League Baseball trading deadline, we do have some news to report. The Toronto Blue Jays have swung a deal with the Seattle Mariners. They acquire outfielder Jose Cruz Jr., currently batting .269, and they do part finally with Mike Temlin, who's always been the subject of criticism and some praise earlier on. Paul Spoljaric, the lefty, the Canadian, also off to Seattle. We'll have more on that on Sports Desk. Back to the football game, and we heard, Obi, that Andre Ware will get some action in this quarter to come. Good call?
Yes, I think that's a smart call by Coach Matthews. I think it's an opportunity to give your backup quarterback a chance to play and get some valuable game experience in case the worst happens, or you know, just to give him a chance to run the offense.
You know what? I can't believe that Toronto gave up a single point. They took away a shutout from their defense to give up a single.
Does that matter?
Then on the other side of the ball, you got Chris Wright, who takes the ball on the 2-yard line when you're down 35-1.
No, where's
the single going to matter in here?
Is your tongue in your cheek? Does it really matter that they give up the shutout?
Yeah, it does.
It does?
It
Why?
matters
Explain.
to the defense.
Explain.
Pride type of thing. You know, that we shut out one of the best offenses in the league. You know, that's something, it's big, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing Andre Ware as well, because he is a Heisman Trophy winner, and he felt he did not get a good opportunity to prove himself in BC last year. I think it's a good idea that they're using him. And I know Doug Flutie likes to pad his statistics, but tough luck.
Well, yeah, Andre Ware. Oh, geez. Andre Ware had his cracks in BC and with Ottawa as well, but never with the supporting cast that he has with the Argos. It will be interesting to see how he does in this fourth quarter with a huge lead. Back to Sky Dome now we go for John and Lee.
Fourth quarter of a long football evening for the Montreal Alouettes. And warming up at the Argonaut bench is Andre Ware. As Gino told you, we were expecting him to begin the fourth quarter, and when the Argonaut offense takes the field again, Andre Ware should be out there to see his first action as a Toronto Argonaut regular season. Meantime, the Alouettes are looking at 2nd and 7, back at the 26. Marvin Graves in for Tracy Ham, injured in the first half. Graves finds Climby. Climby turns it into a first down. Good move by Climby to spin around. Stopped by Donald Smith. It's been all Argonauts so far, 285 net yards to 116, and first downs 19-7.
Tell you what, if you just looked at those and said, tell me what the score is.
Might have a decent guess that it's at least a 20-point lead, and it's more than that. 35-point lead for the Argonauts, heading for their 5th win of 97. Armstrong made the catch. He was hit immediately by Donald Smith, back in the Argonaut lineup for the first time since breaking his arm in week 1 in Winnipeg.
And he will wear that cast for the remainder of the season, apparently, to protect that arm that he broke against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers when he came into the backfield and tried to tackle Ronnie Williams. But nevertheless, good to have him back.
Donald Smith back at cornerback. That moves Marcelo Simmons inside to a more familiar halfback spot. 2nd down. And Pringle turns this into a first down with a bit of nifty running after making the catch. Ken Benson had him wrapped up. Just nicely into the fourth quarter. Montreal down by 35.
Well, one of the better offensive tackles in the league, Neil Fort. Watch the effort he makes to get out and get the initial block for Pringle here. If you can follow him, a little swing screen, they call it, boom, right there on Eric Johnson, the point of attack. That's where you need the key block, and Pringle picks up some good yardage. But Neil Fort, a big man that moves pretty quick.
Alouettes putting together a couple of first downs. Pringle lost it, and he may have gotten it back. Flags are down as Pringle lost the football and then recovered it.
Now, you want to see some miscommunication. Check this out. We just gave Neil Fort the bouquet. Now, here's Neil Fort. Here's Roosevelt Patterson. Watch this.
Tripping.
One goes one way,
Toronto number
one goes
92.
the other.
First down.
And watch what happens. Boom! Don't you love it? In all fairness to Patterson, he hasn't had a lot of practice time, but goodness gracious, that's funny to see it.
When you're pulling, you're supposed to pull the same way as the guy standing next to you, right?
Well, regardless of the outcome of this game, they're going to have a few laughs about that in the film session tomorrow, because that's always good for a few laughs.
Patterson had one practice with the Alouettes prior to the game tonight. Marvin Graves looking deep. This one's up for grabs. It's a touchdown. What a great catch. Nigel Williams kept his eye on the football and gets to the end zone for the first time. Adrian Smith will not be happy looking at that on tape in the Argonaut room, no matter what the outcome is here today.
Well, Adrian Smith was just saying, you know, I'm the receiver. Boy, I've got a nice interception coming here. And then all of a sudden, Nigel Williams steps in front like a defensive back and gets the touchdown catch. And one of the things that he hasn't done that well in his young career is go and take footballs away from defensive backs, but that time he did.
First touchdown of 1997 for Nigel Williams. It may be too little too late for the Montreal Alouettes, but at least it's something to build on. Lit it is open at Skydome, and the Argos are running away with it, scoring on their first 3 possessions to make it 21-0. It is now 36-8. Toronto leading the Montreal Alouettes. And Terry Baker gets set to kick off after the Alouettes' first touchdown. A long strike to Nigel Williams. The pinball, Mike Clemens takes off. A seam opens up. He's got a couple to beat, and he's tracked down at midfield from behind. Markers back at the 20. This one will not count for all the yardage that pinball had accumulated. Alan Wetmore made the tackle. And first service as an Argonaut for Andre Ware, number 11. Doug Flutie won the Heisman Trophy in 1984. Andre Ware won it 4 years later, or 5 years later in 1989.
And I think the interesting thing to note here is the one person who really wanted Andre Ware in Toronto was offense coordinator John Jenkins, because when Andre Ware won his Heisman Trophy in 1989 at the University of Houston, John Jenkins was the head coach and obviously has some good memories of this quarterback. Felt that his skill level had not been represented properly in his playing time in the league. And there's John Jenkins in the center of your screen with the headset on. And, you know, I'm sure John Jenkins is as interested in anybody tonight to see how his quarterback performs.
Ware has not thrown a pass during a regular season game for the Toronto Argonauts, and he still hasn't. Well, I guess he did get that one away. Sort of. Alfred Payton had him tracked down.
And Alfred Payton came a long way from the backside to make that play on Andre Ware, and here's Payton right up at the top right there, and watch how far he's going to come to make this play all the way around. 97 or 57. They fooled me.
Yeah, he didn't have to go all the way around. He sort of slid through there. But it was a nice circle you drew, Lee.
It's a great circle, wasn't it?
That.
I got caught.
Second down and a whole bunch for the Argonauts.
Doesn't happen often, but I got caught.
Well, every once in a while we'll have a chuckle. That was Drummond, who's had quite a night. 4 touchdowns. Don Matthews edging ever closer to that record of 147 victories by a CFL head coach. After tonight, he will be 5 away from Frank Clair's milestone set so many years ago. That's back a couple of decades that record has been standing. Alouettes will get good field position as Wright stands at the 45. Vandercheck, though, lifts this one all the way back to the Alouette 45. Wright gets back to midfield almost, wrapped up by Marcelo Simmons. A 59-yard boot. Vanderjack has really done a job punting tonight.
He really has, and again, you know, you look at kickers, and I think the direct relationship to how well they perform is how high their confidence level is, and Mike Vanderjack's is at an all-time high. And you know, I said it earlier, ever since that Grey Cup last fall, he has just done nothing but kick superbly. I mean, he kicked superbly before that Grey Cup, but that's
well, there were some question marks about who was going to do the kicking for the Argonauts last year. Vanderjack has responded and is averaging 45.4 yards coming into tonight's game. He hit on 11 of 16 in the field goal department, his longest from 51 yards. Leaf talked about it earlier, but he was the Canadian player in the Grey Cup in Hamilton last year. So Vanderjack definitely belongs in this league and is doing a terrific job for the Argonauts.
That number again, 3914.
Alouettes had to call a timeout to get the right formation on the field. Now it is 1st and 10, ball at the 54-yard line. And flags everywhere right at the snap of the ball. Marvin Graves in relief of Tracy Ham, out with a concussion in the first half.
Procedure, Montreal number 65, Pete first down.
That's the newcomer at right tackle. In for Mark Dixon. That's Roosevelt Patterson. Tracy Ham still wondering exactly what's going on out there, I would think. Concussion is the report, but I'm sure he's got a rather severe headache after taking the hit. When hit by Eric Johnson first half. Too far for Climby.
Well, it's a frustrating night for Dave Ritchie and his club. I mean, you come off 2 losses in a row. Your team is banged up, and you have to come to Skydome, where the Argonauts have not lost a game this year and only lost 1 of their home games a year ago. So you know it's a tough place to try and sneak out with a victory to begin with. But yet to have a night like this, I mean, this is it's a frustrating night.
Don Matthews suggesting that his defense is playing better than it was a year ago. The defense leading in 13 of 25 offensive categories. We talked about that earlier. They might have added a couple more categories tonight by the time all the numbers are totaled up here.
You know, you talk
Offside.
about
Toronto number 91. Second down.
You talk about statistics and accolades that you can give the defense. Their secondary is the best in the league at pass completion percentages. You know, they're only allowing, coming into tonight, 53% of passes completed against them. That is the best. But they're 6th in sacks and they're 7th in interception. They have that one by Mike O'Shea tonight, but it tells me they get enough pressure up front with getting interceptions and sacks, and still they're the best secondary in the league.
Graves, and it's picked out. The pass was fired low. And Adrian Smith is in the area. Or was it Kelly Wilshire who grabbed it? Number 26, Kelly Wilshire. 2nd interception of the season. And the Argonauts have possession once more when we return to CFL Live. Friday Night Football. Blue Bombers, Stampeders, equal records thus far. Showdown McMahon Stadium tomorrow night. Pine Eastern, Gordon Miller, David Archer, Glenn Suter for that one for McMahon. Important game for both teams. Shoveled ahead. Andre Ware with a page from the Flutie book.
Now Kelly Wilshire comes up with his 2nd interception of the year, getting some playing time, and does a nice job to step in front of that Marvin Graves pass and pick it off in front of Chris Armstrong. And Marvin Graves frustrated. You know, his receiver did not fight back through the football. Maybe not a great throw either. Boy, you look at Toronto's depth with young rookies, and you know, maybe after this play we can talk about it, because Eric Tillman and Don Matthews have done a terrific job upgrading the rookie Canadian talent on this team.
Robert Drummond. A little bit of an option there from Andre Ware, and Swift Birch contained it well. Talking about rookies
Well, you got
on the Argonauts. There's 3 on offense.
Well, Jeremy O'Day and Chad Folk on the offensive line. Good job by Gravely here to not get fooled by Drummond, turn him back inside. But you got Kelly Wilshire, who's played and filled in and done a nice job. Andre Kerwin, who now is starting at wide receiver. You got Matt DeBuck in the backfield. All new rookie Canadians to this team this year, who have all made a contribution already in 6 weeks at one time or another. So you look at this team that was good a year ago and how they've made it better. They've done a phenomenal job.
5 Canadians to get onto your roster in one season is something to be said about that. But when they are making contributions, it's really an amazing story for the Argonauts.
You know, for Don Matthews, you know, it's easy to talk about the things that please you about their team, his team, because there's so many. But, you know, he really did emphasize